What's going on, invaders? I'm Kirsty the Valkyrie, bringing you Trashgasm, your weekly exploitation review. I am joined by Jake Noose and DJ Hodaddy, and together this week we have watched the movie Pulgasari. This is a 1985 Korean film studio release. I originally found out about this movie when I was compiling a list of Godzilla movies to watch, and this one worked its way into the mix. So in this movie, a village of lowly iron workers summons an iron-eating beast to help them fight their oppressive government. So, Hodaddy, I would like to know how you would describe this movie.
I'm choosing to go with the Kim Jong-ilist Kaiju movie. The highlights for me were overall just like the atmosphere and the universe of the movie. I think all the costumes and the cheesy swords and cheesy 80s synth soundtrack were all awesome, in my opinion. Some of the flaws were the villagers rebelling against the government for taking all of their farming tools and then using those remaining tools to feed their kaiju so that he could grow and help them fight the government. And also, a big disappointment for me was that Kim Jong-il didn't make a cameo.
Well, he's in that new movie, though.
Oh, right. Overall, though, I'd have to give this 4 out of 5 dirty rice balls. How did you feel about this movie?
To me, this movie was kind of like Land of the Lost meets a kaiju'd out version of V for Vendetta, but with really shitty quality. The highlight for me was little baby Pulgasari when it was first born. It's really cute, and I'm drawn to cute little kaiju things. Another highlight was the part where this elderly uncle is, they're trying to force him to eat, so they're throwing rice at him.
Well, he's in jail.
Yeah, he's
so
in
he
jail.
can't eat.
Yeah, he can't eat. They're starving him, and so his niece and nephew, they're like trying to sneak him rice, and he won't eat it. And it just reminded me of Napoleon Dynamite when he's throwing the food at the llama, telling it to eat it.
Uncle, eat the food!
Exactly. That part was really funny. Aside from those, though, the movie had really shitty quality, so it wasn't very enjoyable. That was one of the flaws for me, and the fact that the plot didn't hold me. It was very easy to get distracted. But it's still not a bad movie. I would give it 3 out of 5 stubborn-ass uncles. How about you, Jake?
Well, I'd have to describe this movie as a hybrid of Pinocchio and Braveheart. Plus a little bit of Power Rangers in there as well.
Yes.
Because you gotta get the monsters. I'd say the highlight in this movie for me would have to be how the enemy generals were coming up with a plan as to how they're going to thwart Pulgasari, this giant monster, and that eats iron. And it takes place in like the pre-1800s, so they only have swords. That's their only weapon that they have. Except they come up with a great plan of giant wooden cage.
Flawless.
Yes. Until they set it on fire. You know, that was the flaw.
Oh, okay.
But they also came up with some other great ideas, because they've got great military strategists in there, such as dig a hole. They dug a hole, and he fell in it, of course. Another great idea that they had was bomb. Use a bomb. Blow it up. Nope. Didn't work. And they also had my all-time favorite idea as to how to kill this monster. This giant monster. Throw rocks at it. And that didn't work either.
Oh. Thought they would have had it.
Yeah, it was a big rock. But I'd have to say the flaw for the movie, just like you said, Kirsty, the production value is really low on this one. To where it takes away rather than adds to it. Sometimes when it's low, it's a fun thing, but the movie was a Korean... Was it North or South Korean movie?
It's a North Korean movie, but the director was South Korean. Kim Jong-il kidnapped him from South Korea to make him his own kaiju movie, and then he escaped back into South Korea.
Wow.
Yeah, wasn't it? He was like at a film premiere or something, and he snuck away to a U.S. embassy or something to
Yeah,
get
probably.
out of there.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty intense.
Well, the best movie to ever be made by kidnapping.
Yes.
But, anyways, it was a North Korean movie. The copy that we watched was Japanese. It was a Japanese release, and it was dubbed for a Japanese audience. So they took out all the audio, wiped all the audio off it, and put in new audio, some new terrible voice acting. And I don't speak Japanese, and it was bad then, too. But they had to redo all the sound effects, so you had that kung fu aspect, too, of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But best of all was the new sound effects for the farm animals, which was totally some guy in a room going into a microphone saying, meh. I'd have to say, if I were to grade this movie, I'd give it a total of 4 out of 5 swords with bites in it.
Nice. So this brings us to our discussion topic, and I would like to know how you guys would trap Pulgasari, if that was your chore to decide. Oh, Daddy?
I think instead of wooden cage, I would have to go with wooden catapult, so you could just launch him into outer space, and then you could have Pulgasari too in space.
Everything is better in space.
It is.
Leprechaun in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, Machete.
Machete soon to be in space.
That would be the best one.
I can't wait for that.
I'd have to say, if it were up to me to beat Pulgasari, I'd do what Guillermo del Toro would do. Build a giant robot out of wood, of course.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't build it out of metal.
It's got to fit the time period.
Yeah.
Of course. Realism.
Yeah.
What about you, Kirsty?
I would lure Pulgasari into a dormant volcano, so he would freeze over until the sequel, and then we'll worry about him then.
Perfect.
Yes. So we want to know how you would trap Pulgasari, and for more Trashgasms, make sure that you subscribe. Join us next week. We're going to be talking about Africa, blood, and guts. Until then, I'm Kirsty the Valkyrie with Trashgasm, reminding you to keep it sleazy.